Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we have a Mardu black, red, white treasures list for standard 2022. And what we're doing with treasures is basically ramping up. There is potential for a turn 3 goldspan dragon in this deck. So if you do Shambling Ghast on 1 and then Deadly Dispute on 2, targeting your Shambling Ghast, making a treasure with 3 lands, you can goldspan dragon. There's also a way if you have Shambling Ghast, it dies, and you have Kalian, Reclusive Painter, which also pumps up our creatures if we spend treasures on them. But really what we're trying to do with this deck is play a lot of cheap 1-drops. We can put counters on Fireblade Charger in a sec. I'll explain how. But a lot of cheap creatures, have stuff to sack, get ahead on mana, and then we play Showdown of the Skalds to refill our hand. Play a bunch of more cheap stuff and just kind of keep pumping through that kind of approach with the deck. We have goldspan dragons at the top end, makes more treasures. We can protect it with stuff like Malakir's Rebirth as well. So we have Hunt for Specimens and Eye Twitch, with both allow us to have a lesson board. And then we have a couple copies of Extus Awaken the Blood Avatar. Really, we're playing this for the backside predominantly. And this allows us to sack creatures to reduce the cost, make a 3/6. It forces your opponent to sack a creature, and then whenever that 3/6 attacks, deals 3 damage to each opponent. One thing I want to take a look at when we play some games is if we want creature lines included. I generally like including, but we're opting to play some Malakir's Rebirth to protect like our dragons and some of our big threats. But we'll see how that plays out, and we might end up switching these to a black and red creature land. But we'll give it a couple of games, see how it plays out. We're at Diamond 3, we'll give it a shot. So I was basically trying to wait till after the supposed reset that was going to happen and then push for Mythic. Instead, they canceled it and pushed it out 2 weeks for the new Horizon, Jumpstart Horizon, whatever it's called. So that's coming out later in the month. So we're here. We're playing. Well, let's go. So I think we're going to lead on Swamp here. Play out Shamble Gambles. And then we have... I hate Snarls, but I wanted to try them out. We might not have enough basics here, but... Opponent is on a similar strategy here. This could be a couple different decks. Could be the Black-White Snow deck, which probably is going to be somewhat of a hard matchup. Dimir. Could be Grixis Treasure. Damage. I think since we drew another Kalian, we'll do this. Just get ahead here. Because then what I can do next turn is get a swamp off like an Environmental Sciences. Ooh, okay. I think we're going to attack all here. See what they want to do. So they can use this to kill my Kalian, which is fine. We have another copy. Do this. I think we're going to hold off here. The reason being, if I draw Goldspan Dragon, I don't have the red to cast it, which I would like. We're also getting to the point where they could have a sweeper. Some of these Dimir lists are playing the Shambling Ghoul Deadly Dispute for card advantage. We'll hunt here. So I could Environmental Sciences to get a red land. I could Pest Summonings, which sets me up post Sweeper potentially. Or I can Mascot Exhibition. I think I just like the Pest Summoning here. And we'll pass turn. They could have Shadow's Verdict, which I don't want to play further into. That'll exile my effects, so I won't get any of these little dudes popping off. I wonder if this is like Dimir, Sedgemoor Witch. Deadly Dispute's nice. It's probably a pretty easy pass. They're forced to have a sweeper here. If not, we just Deadly Dispute. Okay, that's fine. So they're chaining these together, but they still need an answer. Tell me they have another turns. This could just be Shadow's Verdict. Jesus. Gotta love when they just rip 3 in a row. This attack will kind of telegraph what they might have. Kind of want to wait because depending with like blockers and stuff. Jeez, and they got Onyx. I have the necrotic fumes, right? Yeah.
From the essence of death.
So I can Deadly Dispute my Eye Twitch. Go get necrotic fumes. Hey. Goldspan Areno. So I could pass summonings. I think we're just doing this turn. We're 1 mana short of forcing the dragon. Okay, so this gains him some life.
If anyone needs me, don't.
So my choices are Showdown. Kind of want to make treasure here. Because it gives me 1 more cast off the showdown, which is big. So I have a red mana for next turn. I could goldspan dragon. I think we want to try and goldspan next turn. This plays around nicely with forward white. Okay, if they're doing the treasure, that's pretty good. Lulf is annoying.
You reek with terror. Exquisite. And I, the generous one.
Pretty aggressive on opponent's side. So, goldspan. Kind of want to force the double block out of them. So if I force the double block, should have attacked first. So they kind of have to block each of these, because if they don't, then I Malakir's Rebirth, targeting my dragon and putting a counter on my Shambling Guest. Lulf comes.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
Let's make 2 more tokens here.
Aren't I generous?
So I can do this. I think we just want to spread the counters around. Kind of bad against Shadow's Verdict. Would love another showdown. They've drawn so many cards. Triple Alrund's Epiphany is going to do you in most games. Okay, so they do have a win con that I need to be mindful of on the back end. Crippling Fear. Lulf is already at 3. I shouldn't have done that. Should have made a token, a counter, because now Lulf can minus and still survive.
My power is for annihilation.
I was hoping for not Crippling Fear. This leaves him with some bodies behind. Quite annoying.
I'll learn much from your failure here today.
Even if we had like academic probation in the board, it doesn't work.
Leave me be. I'm reading.
We need like Vanishing Verse or something. They've seen 4 Deadly Disputes and 3 All-Rins in a row.
I will get
Probably going to beat you most games. Where we've drawn 1 Deadly Dispute. We're going face here. We're not going to win the long game, so...
I will cull the
And spread the love around. They've drawn so many cards. We need another showdown potentially. Showdown would be the best draw. Another goldspan, but these little dudes have just been eating away. Mordecaian can also make an 8/8. Probably gonna need to get a necrotic summonings. Like this will let them get card selection. Our game plan's pretty simple. Turn things sideways, let them figure it out. They're getting close to the point where they can just find another Alvrins and then kill me. Did they misjudge or do they have removal? They likely have flunk in hand. They might have messed up and we're supposed to activate the land here. Okay, so they did mess up a little.
My power is for annihilation.
So they're gonna get their own mascot. Lulth can also make creatures. They can hit me for 7. If they have Alrins, then they just beat me. They can't mascot and keep up Hall.
The entire multiverse is my library.
Extus is also lethal. So, Extus, Goldspan, Showdown. Vanishing Verse to get around some of these creatures. A lot of live draws. One thing we want, like, it might just be based on this matchup, is creature lands.
Aren't I generous?
They can make hauls here. Nope. Best we can give you is a land. The good thing here is they have to block the eye twitch. Jeez. That's a good card because now we're probably dead. They don't have to block, or they could leave creatures behind. But I guess we can mascot here. Gives us some blockers. Like, I don't want to concede because we're not out of it yet. This is a smart block for them. Guess take the goldspan off the table. Does leave us a 4/4 behind. This Lulf has just been putting in so much work.
Cannot be denied.
Alright, we're getting close here. I really feel like they should have just made a token with Mordecai in. They have like blood on the snow, we're basically dead.
To control
The fact they're basically drawing 2 cards with filtering each turn has been really good for them. They got the Faceless now too.
I will cull the weak.
Oh my god. We're just flooding. Can't really afford to attack. They have too much to hit me back now. We're basically just trying to find an Extus. It's an interesting game. A lot of back and forth. Could be all Wrens. Can't really do much.
Again, I will get what I want.
One time X this. They probably have a counter spell in hand. We've only seen one saw coming. Like that was... It was the turn that they got to get 6 birds. They had lethal. Alright, X this one time. X this one time.
Do what I demand.
X this one time. 6%.
I would run if I were you.
6%.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
Come on. X this. If I do this, I don't have enough mana for it. I think we're dead anyways. I saw it coming back.
Subservience will be rewarded.
Yep, they got me. So they had the counter anyway, so even X this didn't matter there. That was a frustrating game. 27-minute game. We'll give this one more, see how it plays out. All-Rins is kind of a BS. Like, I've played a lot of All-Rins, but basically make 6 creatures, draw 3 cards. Let's see how this hand cut plays out. Play with these dudes. A 1/2 first striker with our board right now is killing us. This is likely the Boros Skalds list. Okay, we're flooding out a bit here. So iTwitch will probably get us mascot. Like we theoretically can get to 7 lands. Depending, I'm gonna have to use the shambles probably as removal. I'd love like a deadly dispute. This is brutal. If we draw another line, I'm just going to concede. We'll fire up another game. Okay, we got Vanishing Verse, but we don't have white mana. We'll fire up another one. They're going to be able to go too wide for us, and our deck's not really geared to lay wide. Hand was a bit sketch, but I think it's fine. Because even with X this, like, they make their tokens. It's going to be tough to deal with. Sounds good. Obviously missing red mana, but this iTwitch can go get us Environmental Sciences. We can also Malakir Rebirth our Eye Twitch to get kind of double value out of it. Next turn, play out this. Pass the turn here. Ooh. Okay, so I think we want to get Clarion off the table. There's a red mana. This. So we can play a land here that would make it 6 mana, or I can just cast Exodus as a 2/4, which I kind of like that. The downside is I don't get to Malakir's Rebirth, but I can bring it back anyways with the Magecraft trigger. So they hit their land here. Exodus is likely not blocking. Because this will die, I'll get Environmental Sciences, the Magecraft will trigger, I get Eye Twitch back to my hand. Going pretty wide here. Showdown's great. I think I want to hold up Malakir's Rebirth this turn, just in case. Because next turn I can play out a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, Light Scribe needs to come off the table. So they can't do another pump, but I can't kill this. Also can't, so might as well soak up the trample damage here. To do this. They have a good number of flyers, but gaining some life could be nice. Okay, so fortunately we only have 1 white mana, so I have to decide between another Showdown and Vanishing Verse. I think given the composition of our hand, we're probably going Hunt for Specimens. I need to Vanishing Verse this. Don't have the lands here. But we'll probably Mascot. I could Shambling Ghast here. Losing a showdown sucks. If we had the white mana, we would have been okay. The fact they have to do that bodes pretty well. One, two, three, four, five, six. They got a lot of flyers, that's the problem. So goldspan comes out, goldspan makes a treasure. It can't do everything, so we're just gonna mascot here. So do this. This makes a treasure. Keep this back. Get a black mana. I think we need to start attacking here. Once we could start like mascotting multiple times, but we have to be mindful of these pumps. This could be like academic probation. Yeah, prevents my goldspan from blocking. That's lethal. Oh, they missed it. So they just have literally any pump. Yeah. Alright, this deck's kinda too clunky. You draw the wrong half too often. So it's not really going to allow you to do too much. You can have some explosive turns, but you're probably better off just playing like either black-white treasure or like the mono-whites kind of skalds deck. There's too many dead cards. Like we are competing, this X doesn't really do much, can't really interact as much, but we try out the decks. Let me know what you think. Appreciate the support as always, and catch you next time.